In this video, we're going to very briefly be going over the vocative case. Over here you can see that we have so far learned nominative, subject, genitive, possession, dative, indirect object or reference, accusative, direct object or objects of certain prepositions, ablative, we haven't learned the uses as of yet outside of objects of certain prepositions, but you know to translate it, by, with, because of, from, you know that, and now we're going to concentrate on the vocative. Now, in this video, as normal, I'm going to have 3 items that are things that we have learned so far this year that you'll be able to obviously use, having watched this, to get a free 100 in a small Canvas quiz. Now, the vocative case is the case that you are going to put a word in when you are talking directly to someone. So when I say hello to a student directly, or I ask a student a question directly and I say their name, I will put it in the vocative case. The reason why I do not usually include it in my chart is that the vocative case is almost always identical to the nominative. And that's why you can see here with the linking brackets of nominative, vocative, nominative, vocative, nominative, vocative, and so forth and so on. It is almost always, always, always the same as the nominative. Now, the 2 exceptions to that rule both come in the second declension, but not second declension when the nominative has no ending, like you know those 6 words. Puer, wir, ager, magister, minister, and liber, but instead when the nominative ends with a us, as you see here with servus. In that instance, alone, you are going to translate, or you will change the ending of us, or e, or o, or whatever it might be, to an e. So if you were to say hello to Lightus, a student in my class, or Marcus, you would say salve Marque, in which obviously the vocative is slightly different. Your first term, thing that we've learned about this year, is the agnomen. Remember that you have the praenomen, which is your first or personal name, the nomen, which is your larger family name, the cognomen, which is either a personal trait or the branch of your larger nomen, but the agnomen is a trait or a name that you're going to receive for doing something great. Agnomen is your first item. Now, if you have a second declension word, who does end with us, but the last letter of the stem is an I, Nuntius would be an example. Another would be the name of Cornelius himself. Another would be an example of Filius, the word for son. In these instances, what you're going to do is that you will take off not only the us ending, but you're also going to take off the last letter of the stem, which is that I. And to say hello to Cornelius, you then will replace it with just merely a long I. Corneli, Phili, and over here you can say, if you were talking to the messenger, why did you come here? Nunti, messenger, in which us and the I is gone. Now note the difference between that and the plural. In the plural, it is the same as the nominative. You have nuntii with 2 I's. The first I is the last letter of the stem, and the second I is your ending. Now, also, when it comes to the vocative, adjectives, first and second declension adjectives particularly, work in the exact same way. So if we were to take, let's say, the first and second declension adjective, magnus, magna, in which this is my second declension masculine and my first declension feminine. And remember, they are called first and second declension adjectives because they have first and second declension endings. In the vocative, singular, it would do the exact same thing, in which that us would turn into an e, magne, and for the first declension word, it remains the same, magna. And so if I wanted to say, hello, big man, it would be salve, magne vir. Hello, big dad, magne pater, and so forth and so on. In the plural, it follows the exact rules that we would expect, in that, in the plural, all the way across, always is the vocative identical to the nominative. And then here you see it again for the feminine, magni and magni. And so if you were to involve an adjective modifying the noun that you were talking directly to, then obviously you put it in the vocative as well. Your second item is the bulla. Remember that the bulla is the good luck charm necklace thing worn by boys before their 16th year that essentially wards off evil. But in the 16th year, you give up the bulla to the household gods, the lares and the penates, and at that point, you also take off the toga praetexta and put on the toga virilis, but that's the second item. Now, there's one exception to this rule. And it is the only one really that you need to know. And that is the adjective that means my. So meus and mea. Now, for the feminine, which of course remember, first and second declension adjective, it would be exactly as you would expect. If you wanted to say, hello, my girl, it'd be mea puella. If you wanted to say, hello, my girls, it'd be mei puellai. And you would expect it to follow the rules in the same way that you did with magnus, turning to magne, but instead, what it's going to do is follow the same rules roughly as you saw with nuntius, such that you will take off not only the us, but also the e, which is the last letter of the stem, and its vocative then becomes me. Now in the plural, you would expect it to be exactly as it should, the stem plus the ending. So please note the difference. Now go ahead and get rid of these nominatives there. So all of these are vocatives, and then the vocative singular, as I can draw the line separating all the way out. In that it says, hello, my big father, magne pater. But hello, my father is me, magne pater. Now if it were mater instead of pater, feminine, you would say, hello, my big mother. It'd be mea magna mater. Because only is it going to be me for the masculine that you see there. But if you wanted to say, hello, my big fathers, it'd be salvete mei magni patres. So this has the asterisk by it because it is unique in that it is the only form that really does not follow the rule from this adjective meus mea, but all the rest, that feminine vocative singular, exactly as it should be, and then the plurals are exactly as they should be. Your third item that we've learned is Dido, the queen of Carthage, that of course welcomed in Aeneas and his men and carried on that love affair and even married Aeneas for a while until he abandoned her and she unfortunately tragically committed suicide at that abandonment. But nevertheless, Dido was the third. So this is your vocative forms. Good luck. And remember, almost always the same as the nominative, except in a few instances. Thanks.